So after I uploaded the last videos here on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok regarding the interference with phone calls that I've started monitoring and logging since last night. I've been up and at it basically since early this morning, doing several things at once as usual. So, clearing my energy because, again, they wake up, they do it all night, they do it all day, all night. Okay. So, the typical shenanigans. So, I get up to, you know, clear my energy, but also take care of business. Okay, because again, the holidays are over and I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to uh, get these applications and all these things pertaining to my son, which stuff is still delayed. The fascinating thing about even once you're able to get the folks online, for an example, he can't be seen at his psychiatrist until February. You heard correctly. If it's not emergency based, I'm sure that they have exceptions for an emergency, but I can't get him into his psychiatrist, which is what needs to happen again, or the reval process, because he was already evaluated and it was already determined. But since it's been, some time, there's got to be another form submitted. I don't know why, but I mean, I'm just following along. And so it's not really as fast, smooth, and simple as people think. Okay. Um, I can't get him into his psychiatrist. I kept calling before the holiday. I kept calling. I kept not getting anywhere. And then after the holiday, I was finally able to get to somebody. But the soonest that they can get him in, the soonest they can get him in is February I want to say they said the 11th or the 17th, which means what? What does that mean? Why does that matter pertaining to everything that I share as it pertains to targeted individuals? Well, if you're going through any type of process where you're trying to apply for things, let's say you are trying to go through power of attorney or you're trying to get counsel on that, which is going to have to do with their diagnoses and their medical and all of those things. If you are attempting to get, if they have housing support or housing vouchers and things like that, if you're attempting to become their living aid their their um, due to their condition becoming poor due to the abuse, on top of your situation being tampered with in terms of your own personal livelihood. If you are trying to do that, all those things are tied up with the process. There's no magic button where it's just a pada bing, pada boom. You have to go through the process. So, what does that mean for the in between time, meantime? Ah, Eureka. That's where I'm going. These companies, these groups attempt to do all these things. This is sabotage, coercive control, passive aggressive ways of doing that. Okay, we're going to sabotage because everything is going to be tied up and everything is a process. In some cases, they do extend the process because if they are manipulating the network, then the people will be claiming shit that ain't true, if that makes sense. Okay? So that's so everything that I'm trying to do to help him because of the things that I've gone through and that he's gone through over the last year, taking those parameters, everything is a process. On top of the fuckery that's involved with the process. Okay? This is proof of an attempt to stop a target from being able to what? I'm going to force the world. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it successfully. To stop the target without looking like they are, which is no different than an abusive romantic relationship with a narcissist. Without looking like they are. So under the guise of this is just a standard prototype, okay, which is to irritate the target, frustrate, exasperate, the torture program. Catch up, people. Torture program. Okay. Now, that's what I got up and early, because we never see the behind the scene in people's life. One day somebody gonna catch what I'm saying. We don't see that. None of us do. We see when somebody go outside. That's what we see. And we also see if they do have any kind of social media activities. But we don't know what someone is doing. Now, the people that are hacking, they know. Oh, shit. Hence why I'm sharing this video. The people that are illegally surveilling and hacking into, cloning our devices and hacking into the devices know full the fuck well. And I'm going to prove that too. Since the target is accused of being some kind of a floaty, fairy, fickle flower slacker, most targets are accused of being unstable as the people create the instability. Oh, mic drop. One day somebody's going to catch that. But most targets are accused of being criminals when it's the criminals that's barking the loudest. Okay? They're accused of being criminals. They're accused of being prostitutes. They're accused of being drug addicts, which would be drug addicts that they hired to do some of the shit. Funny. Now that part, that kind of almost made me chuckle and laugh right there. I'm like, that's funny. Because they be hiring addicts to do the stalking. Ain't nothing like an addict. I tell you what. And see, I done been with addicts, so you can't talk to me about that. I done been with several different types of addicts in my past. And I grew up in environments of addicts of sorts. So I know all about it. Ain't nothing like a good old addict to obsess on some shit. To get you want somebody to stalk? Get yourself an addict. Because they have an addictive personality type, and it's an entity and things behind it. But get yourself an addict. Anywho, so no one sees the behind the scene of a target in terms of when they're studying, when they're doing research, when they're trying to, because hopefully you're getting your stuffs. You're not just out there walking around in a circle maze for entertainment for these people who are getting off on you. Hopefully you, because that's what this is, but hopefully you are, you're doing your own research. You're looking through paperwork, you're making phone calls, you're searching online, you're doing those things so that you can what? Handle the affairs of your life. If there's been a loss, if whatever it is, even though these things are manufactured, the targets still then do all the things that everybody's just regurgitating like it's all in unison or something. Okay, contacting counselors, contacting this program, that program, blase, 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 blue, do, doing all that as if that's going to instantaneously remedy anything, which it rarely ever does. Rarely. Okay. And in terms of even what their options are. So I'm going to prove that these, whatever they are, whatever it is, and for whatever reason, don't really care. Attempting to control the life of the target, attempting to control their options, attempting to control what they have access to, attempting to control, to cherry pick what they have access to by hijacking their technology and their mail and the things that they're using in order to take care of business in life, which is their devices, their electronics, their phone, their accounts. As they attacked my son, as is typical every day, getting up early to get things going, I dealt with that, but I had to deal with it calmly and in a different way so that I could stay focused on, you see what I'm saying? They want you being a tired nursemaid to something that was not organic. That's what it is. And when when you are not in the knowledge about what's going on, and you're a good parent or caretaker or whatever, you're gonna just go with it. And so they're hoping you just exhaust yourself doing that all day. Meanwhile, there's, you need to take care of the affairs for them, the cares and the affairs of their life, while you're concerned about the weirdos, the sycophants, the people that I question, why are they even here? On why? But let me get out of there. That's my opinion. And I'm just saying, because I just don't, and I'm not going to get off on a tangent too much because I'm really trying to fine tune the way I'm doing things here. But that's just my personal resonance. I can't fathom why some people exist. Yep. And I'm talking about from the mansion palace to the tent in the hut. I can't, I don't understand. And I'm not going to, and maybe it's okay. And maybe I got to get okay with the fact that this is trash. This whole shit is trash. And boom, bitch, and accept it because I really can't. And I'm not even trying to be crass or funny, but I simply cannot understand why some people exist at all. Because I'm like, if that's what they own, to me, it's a waste. But then, since I understand this is the Arconian bullshit, then from that perspective, it's like, okay, very well. Wow. Very well. This is what this is. I get it. They're leaders of the harvesting group. Okay. Now, to get to the point of the video, though, talking about how they're trying to intercept and interfere with options and who we can access. After I did the post, I attempted to call again. It did the same thing. Now, you would have thought like, okay, maybe immediately after that, then maybe things went clear up. No, it didn't. Nope. It did the same, it did the same shit. Okay. And I said, okay. And then I end up going back to a call that I did previous, which was the Bar Association, because I was on the phone with the Bar Association earlier to see if they could do any pro bono work, okay, for representation and stuff like that. And she redirected me back to Lone Star. But what's funny is when I called the Bar Association, after I did the pattern calls to the Lone Star, and it did the same thing, I immediately dialed the Bar Association, and that call went straight through. Okay. That went through. And I said, oh, really? Interesting. And then as that went through, I then said, maybe I'm going to call the Bar Association back and have them call for me. And I was going to do it. Because again, at some point, you start to feel like you got to do what you have to do, no matter how irrational it may appear. But the fact that you are dealing with the things that you shouldn't be dealing with is like, hey, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to make my stance. I'm going to say, hey, I just called you and I attempted to follow the instructions and I don't know what this is. Do you mind calling on my behalf on a three-way? Is that something that is possible within your means to do? Because the very thing in which I need counsel for, these folks interfering with my technology, is not allowing me to call them. I have every full intention to proceed like that from here on out. Every full intention. Because once again, this is an attempt, the messing with the mail and all those things. I had gotten the county people on the line today, and she advised me on the situation with my son's EBT card that I've been trying to figure out the best way to remedy. And I gave her the lowdown of what's happening, that it was stolen, in his apartment. Go figure. That it was stolen, and that I have reason to believe. She asked me if the people, that I suspect stole it, do they have access to his stuff? I said, oh, absolutely, because his relatives are involved. Absolutely. I said his relatives, exes, and their people are involved. So she said, gave me the advice of what to do, and that if they mail it out, that you can then go, if you don't get it on the seventh day, you can go to the office and they'll replace it that way. Because I told her, I said, he may not receive it. They're playing with his mail. I said, there's a problem there, and he may not receive that. And I'm concerned with these people getting his stuff and using his benefits, and he's responsible for it and stuff like that. And she was like, oh, okay. She said, well, if you don't get it by the seventh day, I'm going to be monitoring and watching big time on the app for that. But I did manage to take care of it. And chances are I'll be going up too. So I'm already making the plans to have to get up there, go up there and get his replacement card. Because again, I'm going to say it again, his mail is tampered with. I went through this even earlier this year. It was a shit show. But now I know it was with H&R Block and the things to do with taxes, because they were up to no good with that. So now here's where it gets good. I just said, after I called the Bar Association, and I said, and I hung up with them after the pattern calls again. I said, oh, maybe I should just call them and have them call on three-way for me if they can. Then I called Lone Star. The call went directly through without a problem. It stopped. I don't know if someone heard that, because, I didn't do anything different. I didn't punch any magic button. I didn't do anything. I didn't restart the phone again. I did nothing different, except I just said, maybe that's what I need to do. And lo and behold, the call went through without a problem. Wake up. Open your eyes. You all are seeing me hold, different clips like this up that you're seeing on the screen, because this is all stuff that I'm evaluating, have been evaluating over the past year. Things to do with loyalty with people, cheating, you know, um, folks that I once honored and had some kind of respect for, you know, all that has changed because of the things that I'm coming to realize about most folks that I've ever known. And that's kind of, and that's meant to take the target into a state of shock. One day somebody's going to catch that all of that, getting people to not talk to them and lying to all these various agencies and people and spinning these lies and stories and paying people who could be paid off. All of that was designed to be detriment to the target, because they didn't deserve it. They didn't do anything. And to have all of that happen and to have people to seemingly just to not care is jaw-dropping. And have people to get religified is also, it's absurd too. It's absurd. And these, especially when it's the religious folk that's posting 5,000 posts a day on social media about their relationship with the law. That, yeah, I'm not gonna get too deep into that, or even their spirituality. Again, the program is the desensitization, the dehumanization, and lack of decency is the fruit of the program, and I know that. Mm-hmm. They creepy ass up there creeping around now. I can smell them. They are trying to stop me from getting resources and help for me and my son. This needs to be taken seriously. They are trying to stop me and my son from getting proper resources and legal representation. This needs to be taken seriously. They are doing this in a passive aggressive way. This needs to be taken seriously. They're doing it covertly. They're doing it by proxy, hiring lowlifes who don't have nothing to lose or who don't care. This needs to be taken seriously. And this is not only happening to myself and my son, this is happening to many. That these prospective groups and cults have decided to sacrifice. It's